You know what? In the largest industry in the world, there's a new number one. And you know what? It ain't Prudential, dadgummit. You know, we started A.L. Williams back in 1977, 85 people scared to death, didn't know nothing about nothing in the traditional sense of the word. And you know what they said? They said we couldn't do it. They said all those coaches and teachers and businessmen and women and housewives, they didn't know nothing about nothing. They said that we'd be out of business in 90 days. They said we had been outlawed in 98 states. They said there were no way we could compete with the big boys in the big leagues. But you know what? We kicked Prudential's butt. You know what? In the largest industry in the world, we beat 2,200 other companies too. In 1984, A.L. Williams became the national champion in the largest industry in the world. We today are number one, and I'm so dadgum proud of you, I can't stand it. And you know what? Back when I was coaching in Georgia, you know, when you get out there and you give it your best, you know, you prepare all year and you go show up to play and you kick it off and you give it your best, and at the end of the game, if the scoreboard shows you get beat, you know what you're supposed to do if you're a class team? You're supposed to sort of fold up your tent and tuck your tail and go home and start working hard for next year. You know, people in America can't stand mealy mouths. They can't stand these dadgum losers, all this loser talk, right? Well, see, if you're a class guy, you don't make all these excuses. Excuses don't count in the big leagues, right? The scoreboard tells a story. See, if you get beat and you complain the referees called a bad call, your star player was hurt, you got a bad break, see, all that's loser talk, right? And if you're a class person in a class team, you just go on back and take your lumps and come back fighting hard the next year, right? But you know what? You know what I found in our industry? I ain't found no class guys but us. And you know what? You know what? I can just hear our competition now. They huddled up in their little old meetings, you know, and they're saying, well, they just sneaked up on us. They just lucked up. A.L. Williams ain't really number one. We got a surprise for them this year. A.L. Williams better watch out. We gonna show them who number one is in 1985. Well, you know what our answer is? Let's get it on. Let's get it on, Prudential. Let's get it on, Northwestern Mutual. If you want to take number one back, you're gonna have to come and get it, and you better be ready to play. You know what? I like being number one. It feels good to be the best, to be the dadgum national champ, right? You want to knock A.L. Williams off? Well, you better bring your dadgum lunch, because we ain't going to give it to you. It's going to be a long, bloody, tough fight, I guarantee you. We'll fight you in the morning, in the afternoon, all night, and all the next dadgum day. I'm so proud of you, I can't stand it. Folks, ain't nobody in this dadgum country gave us a chance to do what we did. You've busted every record for a new company in the largest industry in the world. You're doing things in one day and 1 week that it took companies years and years to do. Today, A.L. Williams is no longer fighting for number one. You're number one. You're number one, the national champs in the largest industry in the world. A.L. Williams is walking a path today that no company's ever walked in our industry. A.L. Williams has a chance over the next few years to fight for a place in history. We've got a chance to build a dominating company. We've got a chance to leave a legacy of greatness in our industry. February 10 of 1977 was a historic day in American business. There was a group of people got together in Atlanta, Georgia to found a company that was fed up with the way corporate America had run its business in the past. We believe the special kind of people in this country were the people that corporations had put down in the past. They wouldn't give these people the big opportunity, the big responsibility, and the big rewards. They made them feel stupid and inferior. A.O. Williams was born in 1977 believing there's no test ever designed and never will be that can measure the heart of a man or a woman. And if you've got a desire to be somebody, and you can still dream, given the right kind of opportunity, you can do incredible things. A.O. Williams was born to give a different kind of American people an opportunity to be somebody. And these people could dream, even though they didn't have business sophistication, even though they didn't have a lot of money behind them. They had a dream, and they had a desire to be somebody. And they wanted to do something big. They wanted to do something great. They wanted to do something at 40 and 50 and 60 years that they could sit down with their grandchildren, maybe their great-grandchildren, and tell them about some of the accomplishments that they did back in their heyday. A.O. Williams was born to become great, to become number one. We used to sit in small meetings before we had a name, before we had an office, nobody making any money. And we said one day, we've got a feeling. Inside me, I know there's something we're going to do that's great. We're going to change the direction of the largest industry in the world. Our leaders are going to be among the highest paid people in American business today. We're going to take our great people, our leaders, to all the great places in the world. We're going to build one of the most successful, well-known companies in all of American business. Everything fell in place for A.O. Williams in 1984. 1984 was the year when it all came together for this company. I'm so dadgum proud of you and your accomplishments, I can't stand it. I could sit here for 3 solid days and recite to you the records you set and broke and the great things you accomplished in 1984. But I'm just going to talk about a few. I'm so proud in 1984 of the success of our people. In 1977, we had a lot of mottos in our company, a lot of principles we believe strongly in. We said we're going to build a company where salespeople are king. We're not ever going to cut your territory, limit your opportunity to always do more. We're going to build a company to serve our people. We want our people to make some real money and save some real money and one day build total financial independence. The success of our people in 1984 was mind-boggling. 18 months ago, we were averaging $966,000 commissions paid out per pay period. In November of 1984, this skyrocketed over $2 million. Our advance commissions November 1983 was $370 per sale. In November 1984, that went up to over $500. In November, we had 5 people in 1 month alone promoted to NSD. Brings to a total of 22 people that earn an additional $100,000+ a year for the rest of their life. We formed a President's Council to be among the President's Council. In 1984, in 1983, you had to be paid over $50,000 in cash. We chartered that club with 371 members. In 1984, we went over 700. We started a $100,000 club for people that were paid $100,000 in cash and gave them a fantastic Super Bowl ring. We chartered that club with 91 people in 1983. Today we've got over 200 in that club, and last month we had 25 new additions. We had the first time one of our RVPs was paid in cash, $1 million in cash in one 12-month period of time. The success of our people was absolutely mind-boggling. I was also so proud in 1984 of the success of our company. Folks, A.O. Williams dreamed about being the best, about being number one in the largest industry in the world. You took over 4 categories number one in our industry. You became the number one seller of individual life insurance in the world. You became the number one term life insurance company in the world. You became the number one stock company in the world. You became the number one company total growth in size in the world. In 1984, we have a chance to be the first company on record to break the $40 billion barrier. Let me tell you the magnitude of your achievements as a company last year. I'm so proud of you, I can't stand it. One day in November, you submitted over 6,500 sales, almost $1.5 billion of business in one day. In 1977, February 10, I met those original people, and I said, I just hope my dream is I just hope I can live long enough as president of A.O. Williams to see us produce $1 billion in 1 year. And then I'd feel like my life was worthwhile. In 1984, you produced over $1 billion of business in one day. Think about this, folks. Over 2,200 companies. Over 85% of those companies will not write $1 billion in their entire lifetime. Out of over 2,200 companies, 97% of those companies will not produce $1 billion in 1 year. Out of over 2,200 companies, only 150 companies have produced $1 billion in business since their inception, and some of them over 150 years old. And you produced over $1 billion in one day. I'm so dadgum proud of you, I can't stand it. All my life, I've wanted to be somebody. I wanted to be amongst a group of people that would look at me and say, let me tell you something. That's a good man. That's a tough man. That guy will fight you. Man, he's a winner. All my life, I've wanted to be somebody I'm proud of, make a difference with my life. And folks, I think maybe beating Prudential is the highlight of my business life. As we beat Prudential, and that became apparent about 2 weeks ago, I think I went around for a few days and a days. This was 15 years, a dream of mine. I started thinking about my career and some of the proud things that I've been able to do that just made me feel good about Art Williams. When I came in this business, I loved coaching and was good at coaching, and I never saw Art Williams being able to make it in sales or in business. I thought the people that had the big offices and made the big money, that they were different than Art Williams. They just had a little bit more going for them in that area than Art Williams. I didn't know anybody would buy from me. It took me 6 weeks to get licensed in insurance and securities, and went out and sold my assistant coach a term program and a mutual fund. And I left there and made $350. Before that, I'd run up down that basketball court for a part-time job for 3 hours and make $12. When my manager told me I went in there in 45 minutes and saved these people thousands and thousands of dollars, and that I just made $350, folks, I can't tell you how proud I was. I can't tell you, the first 2 years I went in this business full time, I was scared every day that I couldn't make it. I thought I was going to have to go back and coach football every day. Every time I missed a sale, I thought I was a failure. Every time one of my guys quit, I thought I was a dud. I thought I was a loser. 2 years after I'd been in the business full time, all of a sudden I began to figure this business out. And I began to understand that I could make a living in this business. I was so proud. I can't tell you how I felt the first time I carried a death claim. And I carried a widow and 2 children, a $95,000 check to replace a $10,000 or $15,000 policy. And all of a sudden I realized the phenomenal business I was in. And I was so proud. I can't tell you how proud I was when I had my first old agent confrontation. I used to sell all my business early in the ball game in my Bermuda shorts and coaching shoes. And I thought there was something magical and special about the life insurance salesman. Had the CLU degree and wore the 3-piece suits and talked so great. And the first time one of my clients called me back over for a confrontation, I was scared to death. And I thought they had some secret plan in their kit, some way, some special thing that I couldn't will. I can't tell you how proud I was when I sat down and mutilated him and knew for the first time in my heart that there was no hope for him, that buy term and invest the difference would whip them in the long run. I was so proud. I was so proud. The first year I was paid $100,000. And then I saw Bob Busan paid $100,000. And then all of a sudden we had 200 or 300 people paid $100,000 in 1 year. And all our competition said for all those years we couldn't do it, that we weren't capable. I was so proud. I'd never been in an airplane until I got in this business. Took my first airplane ride. I was proud, scared, but I was proud. Now I own an airplane. I was so proud, February 10, 1977, when we founded A.O. Williams and 85 of my friends. We locked hands and we were so scared. But man, we launched something special. I was so proud to be part of it. I was so proud when, after carrying the A.O. Williams dream to most big companies across America that had a lot of money, they all laughed at us and said we were weird. And I was so proud when we joined National Liberty Corporation, the first company that was licensed in all the states and had a lot of money. I met Bo Adams at National Liberty Corporation. That made me proud. I saw the first RVP promoted, number 8, Randall Walker, and I was proud. It was working. I saw the A.O. Williams Millico home office go up in Atlanta, Georgia, after years of trying to get companies to build a home office, to service our business, to give us a chance to have mind-boggling growth. I thought it was all over, and I was proud. I saw in 1984 Tracy Bauer pick up his family and move to Atlanta, Georgia to solve all of our administration problems forever. I can't tell you how proud I was. I can't tell you how proud I was the second full year in business when we produced $1 billion in business. I can't tell you how excited I was and proud I was and happy I was when we had our first convention in Port Clear, Alabama. We took our whole company, every man and woman, every part-timer, full-timer, 120 people, to Point Clear, Alabama. At Boca Raton this week, we just got just a small percentage of our company, the real great leaders. Over 2,500 people will be here. We'll spend over $1 million these 8 days honoring you in a very special way. We took a group of people to Europe, to 4 countries, a tour of the Rhine. In 1984 September, we had a groundbreaking for the A.O. Williams new home office. I was so proud. American Can went out and paid $295 million for PennCorp, primarily to get A.O. Williams' block of business. I was the proudest guy in America. I had the privilege as president of this company to write Common Sense, a book that sold over 3 million copies. An old dumb football coach with a PE degree, and they said we couldn't do things like this. I was proud. I was proud when the A.O. Williams Corporation became a reality, because in 1977 that was a dream. And I said if we could live long enough and be good enough, we were not only going to pay our salespeople commission and overrides, we were going to found our own company and give our people a chance to own a little bit of the business they produce and share in those profits. I was proud. I was proud when the Saturday Evening Post article came out, the first time in over 3 years that we got any kind of positive publicity. I was so proud. I was so proud when we became the #1 term company, the #1 stock company, the #1% gain in force. I'd look at those sheets and I couldn't believe it when I saw us up there above Prudential and New York Life and Northwestern Mutual and Allstate. That blew me away. I was so proud. I was so proud to become financially independent and see over 75 other people in A.O. Williams become millionaires and hundreds become financially independent. I was so proud when we started the A.O. Williams estate plan. I was so proud when we started A.O. Williams Wall of Fame. And we're taking leaders in this company that have made a difference in American business and into the lives of thousands of people. And hundreds of years after they're gone, there'll be people, our babies, that'll follow us. And they'll look at your picture. And they'll want to know about you. And they'll be proud of you. I was so proud. I was so proud of the first NSD promotion. The first time an RVP cash flowed $100,000 in 1 month. Then later 3 people did that. The first time an RVP cash flowed $1 million in 1 year. I was so proud. But I don't think of all the things we've done together. I don't think I've ever been as proud as I am of what you accomplished in 1984. To share with you the beating of Prudential and becoming #1 is something I'll never forget, I'll tell you that. What about the future? I promise you, we're going to always have another mountain to climb. I promise you folks, as long as there's an A.O. Williams, we ain't never going to get satisfied. We ain't never resting. I promise you A.O. Williams is going to give you everything, more than everything you need to win with for your family and your leaders. We've got our goal for 1984. And the goal is this. Our slogan, our motto in 1984 is going to be, I won't prove again. See, and in the largest industry in the world, we're already #1 in 4 categories. But Prudential's still #1 in 1 category. If you take all the individual insurance written and all the group insurance written and you put it together, Prudential did $64 million last year. $64 billion. I want to beat Prudential in individual insurance and group insurance locked together. And you might say, well, Art, we don't even sell group insurance, right? That's right. Well, why do we have to be number one in a category we don't even do nothing in? Because anything Prudential's number one in, I want to knock their butt off.